He walked into the studio. It wasn't a grand place. Not by a long shot. It was a small converted auto parts shop in Memphis. The sign outside said son. Inside, a man named Sam Phillips was waiting. Sam was looking for something. He wasn't sure what, exactly. But he knew he'd recognize it when he heard it. He was looking for a sound that felt new. A sound that felt real. The kid who walked in was nervous. You could see it. He was 19 years old. He drove a truck for a living. He had long sideburns and clothes that were a little too loud for the time. He carried a guitar. It looked like a part of him, but his hands were probably sweating as he held it. This was his chance. Maybe his only chance. Sam Phillips was a patient man, but he was also a busy man. He'd heard countless singers. Most of them sounded like someone else. They were imitating their heroes. They were trying to be the next Hank Williams or the next B.B. King. Sam didn't want the next anybody. He wanted the first of something. So the kid sits down. Sam asks him what he wants to do. The kid says he wants to make a record. A gift for his mother. Her birthday was coming up. It was a sweet, honest answer. Not the answer of a rock star. The answer of a son. Sam agrees. The price was about $4 for a 2-sided acetate disc. A personal recording. The kid starts to sing. The first song he picks is a gentle ballad. A pop standard from a few years back. My Happiness. It's a safe choice. A song his mother would know and love. He sings it sweetly. His voice is high, a little shaky. It's clear, it's pretty, but it's not what Sam Phillips is listening for. It's nice, but nice doesn't change the world. Sam has heard nice before. The recording is done. The kid could have paid his $4 and left. That could have been the end of the story. A young truck driver makes a record for his mom and goes back to his route. But something makes Sam pause. The receptionist, Marion Keisker, had noted something about the kid when he first came in. Good ballad singer, she wrote. Sam hears something in the kid's voice, even in that simple, straightforward performance. A quality, a texture. It's different. So, Sam asks a question. The question that changed everything. What else can you do? This is the moment. The real audition. The gift for his mother is done. Now, this is for him. This is for the future. He could sing anything in the world. He knew hundreds of songs. He was a human jukebox. He grew up poor in Tupelo, Mississippi, listening to the radio. He soaked it all up. Gospel from the church. The blues from the men on the porch. Or country music from the Grand Ole Opry broadcast. Pop singers like Dean Martin. He had it all inside him. What does he choose? Does he try to show off? Does he pick a fast, upbeat blues number to prove he has rhythm? Does he pick a deep gospel song to show his soul? Does he try to imitate one of his heroes? To show Sam he can sound like a star? He does none of those things. He chooses another ballad. This choice is the whole story. It's the key to understanding who he was right then, before the world knew his name. The song he picked wasn't a huge chart-topping hit. It was a country song written by a blind singer-songwriter a few years earlier. It was a song of pure, unadorned devotion. The lyrics were simple, almost painfully so. There was no clever wordplay, no hidden meaning. It was a straight-up declaration of love. The song's message is simple. I love you because you understand me. You're there for me. You make me happy when I'm sad. You make my world better. It's a song about gratitude. It's a song about finding the one person who makes sense of your life. There is no edge. There is no rebellion. There is no danger. It's a song you could sing to your mother, your sweetheart, your child. Why this song? Out of everything he knew, why this one? First, it was honest. The kid was not a rebel yet. He was a shy, polite young man who loved his mother. The world saw him as a threat later, with the sneer and the moving hips. But that wasn't who he was in that room with Sam Phillips. He was a kid full of raw emotion, and this song was pure emotion. The lyrics spoke a language he understood. He wasn't performing a character, he was channeling a feeling that was genuine to him. He was a romantic, he felt things deeply. This song was a direct line to his heart. Think about the vulnerability of it. To sing a song like this, you have to mean it. Or at least, you have to be able to sound like you mean it. A fast song can be a mask. You can hide behind the rhythm, the beat, the energy. A ballad is naked, it's just your voice and the feeling. Every crack, every breath, every hesitation is exposed. For a nervous 19-year-old, this was an incredibly brave choice. It was like he was saying, here I am. This is my voice. This is what I can do with it. Take it or leave it. He wasn't hiding, he was opening himself up. Sam Phillips must have heard that. He wasn't just hearing the words of the song, he was hearing the kids singing them. The voice had that strange, ethereal quality. It was a man's voice, but it had a high, boyish tremble. A built-in echo. It was a country song, but he didn't sing it like a country singer. Country singers of that time often had a nasal, flat delivery. This kid's voice was rich. It was full, it had soul, not the way a blues singer had soul, a different kind of soul. a white kid from Mississippi who somehow sounded like he understood longing. The choice of song also showed his influences. It proved he wasn't just a blues shouter or a pop crooner. He was steeped in country music. This was the music of the South, the music of poor white families. It was his heritage. By choosing this song, he was showing Sam the breadth of his musical knowledge. He wasn't a one-trick pony. He could sing the tender stuff. He could sing the music that played on the kitchen radio in every house in his neighborhood. And maybe it was strategic. In a subconscious way, maybe he sensed that Sam Phillips wasn't looking for another blues singer. Sam could walk down to Beale Street and find 100 great blues singers. He was a white man running a studio that recorded a lot of black artists. The legend says he was looking for a white man with a black sound. That's part of the story. But maybe he was also just looking for something authentic, something that hadn't been heard before. A white kid singing a blues song might sound like an imitation, but a white kid singing a country song with a new kind of feeling, a new kind of voice that was different, that was a hybrid. It was country, but it was something more. It was the beginning of a fusion that nobody had a name for yet. The performance in the studio that day wasn't a hit. It wasn't perfect. It was just a kid and his guitar pouring his heart into a microphone. He sang about finding someone who gives you a reason for living. He sang about love that makes you a better person. He sang lines like, "You help me understand the little things I do, and you make me see the truth when I am wrong." These are not the words of a hellraiser. They are the words of a sensitive soul. Sam Phillips still wasn't sure. He heard the potential, he heard the unique voice. But he didn't hear a star. Not yet. He told the kid he was interesting. He took his name and number. He told him to keep working on his music. The kid left the studio, probably thinking he'd failed. He'd shown the man his heart, and the man had said, maybe. But the seed was planted. Sam couldn't get that voice out of his head. It was the ballad that did it. Not the peppy pop song for his mom, the country ballad, the song that was so simple, so plain, so emotionally direct. It was the song that proved the kid had something real inside him. It wasn't about the song itself. The song was just a vehicle. It was about what he did with it. He took a plain country tune and filled it with a kind of yearning that was impossible to fake. Months went by. Sam eventually called the kid back. He had a new song he wanted him to try, another ballad. The kid came back to the studio. He tried the new song. It didn't work. It wasn't clicking. The session was a failure. Everyone was getting frustrated. They were about to pack up and go home. Then, during a break, the kid started goofing around. He picked up his guitar and started playing an old blues song. "That's All Right, Mama." But he didn't play it like a slow, mournful blues. He played it fast. He slapped the side of his guitar. He was jumping around. He was having fun. The bass player, Bill Black, joined in. The guitarist, Scotty Moore, started playing along. Sam Phillips was in the control booth. He heard this new sound coming through the speakers. It was electric. It was raw. It was everything he had been looking for without even knowing it. "What was that?" he yelled. Do that again. That was the moment. That was the birth of rock and roll. That was the sound that changed the world. But it never would have happened without the ballad. The ballad was the key to unlock the door. Thus, it was the audition piece that made Sam Phillips write down a name and a phone number. It was the performance that made him think, this kid is different. It showed him the raw material he had to work with. He saw the soul, the sincerity, the unique vocal instrument. The fast stuff, the rock and roll, came later. It came when the kid was comfortable, when he was just being himself with his friends. But to get into that room, to earn that second chance, he had to show Sam something else. He had to show him his heart, and he chose to do that with a simple, almost painfully sincere country love song. He wasn't trying to be cool, he wasn't trying to be tough, he was just a boy with a beautiful, strange voice, singing about love and gratitude. It's ironic. The world would come to know him for his rebellion, his energy, his sensuality. He would become a symbol of everything that scared the parents of the 1950s. But his career, his entire legacy, was launched by a moment of pure, gentle vulnerability. A moment when he decided the best way to show a stranger his soul was to sing the quietest, sweetest song he knew. He chose that song because it was who he was. Before the fame, before the movies, before the jumpsuit. He was a boy who loved his mother, who believed in love, and who had a voice that could break your heart. The ballad wasn't a strange choice. It was the only choice he could have made. It was the truest reflection of the man behind the microphone. It's easy to forget that part of his story. We remember the lightning bolt, the explosion of "that's all right," but the lightning needs a cloud to form in. The ballad was the cloud. It was the quiet, unassuming moment that gathered all the energy together, just waiting for the right time to strike. Without that simple, obscure country ballad, the world might never have heard him at all. The song he sang for Sam Phillips that day, the real audition, was a country tune written by Leon Payne. The song was called "I Love You Because."